I tell you what, going back to the Dream Team doc, when there was some of the Monte Carlo footage of the practice, the Stockton home video was great. The story about the select team coming in, there were so many great stories. How did you weave? What was your goal there? Just to weave it by timeline, just naturally, or did you take some other ideas and say, "Hey, I want to do it this way"?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was always going to be pretty chronological, the story. Going from the building of the team to what they were able to accomplish, and I think through that lens, you could get into the relationships that were formed and some of the more human aspects of the story. I think that was sort of a natural progression, both for the team and maybe the obvious route for the film, but one that we knew that would work.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I think, for anybody listening that is just getting started in filmmaking or storytelling, I think and I've worked with people like this. I've worked for people like this who are very austere when it comes to sticking to the narrative that they think their story should be. Right? It was a story of blah, 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 blah. Okay, now I'm going to edit it to show that. And that's obviously a very effective way to do things with certain stories. I never really bought too much into that. I sort of come at it, and for right or wrong, with a more, I guess, flexible approach where you go with your best stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. And so for the Dream Team in particular, and this goes to everything that I think I've ever done to this day, what I'm working on, you go with your best stuff. So, you do these interviews in the Dream Team case with 12 superstar athletes, and you probe as much as you can to try to maybe get a little nugget that nobody's ever heard, or get into their, the more human side. So when my wife sits down next to me and watches it, she can relate to these people as well. And then you take those sound bites and you say, how can I build around this? What footage do I have to really bring this to life? As opposed to, he didn't say exactly what I wanted him to say, so I'm just going to write something in the script that says that, and let me use this footage this way. And you're really like sticking to the script, mm-hmm. Right? But I think doc filmmaking is to me is not about that, right? It's about going wherever the story takes you, and really trying to be able to have the eye and the ears for what will resonate, right? And so in the case of the Dream Team, it's taking sort of some of the most dramatic moments of these interviews and structuring it around that.
Was there ever a thought to interview Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, we tried. He didn't want to. And I
can see why.
Yeah, he didn't want to at the time. I think that's what it was. I remember he ended up making some sort of comment afterwards about it. I can't remember if it was Twitter at the time or something else. But he engaged with the film in that way. I happen to really like Isaiah. Working with him on Bad Boys, he was amazing. And every time I saw him thereafter, I love Isaiah. Great guy. And so, yeah, we talked a little bit about the Dream Team afterwards, during Bad Boys, I should say. But yeah, we tried. He wasn't interested at the time, I guess.